Hi, this is Eric Glover with the Community of Peace. I'm also doing a blog for my school. As you know, I'm an ITC seminarian. I'm taking a class called Community Development, and in that class, we're doing a blog on a movie that we saw called For Colored Girls. So I just want to talk briefly about about the movie, and some of my thoughts about Black women. Now, I want to stress at the Community of Peace, we love everybody. We love white women. We love Asian women. We love Hispanic women, and anybody else I might have left out. So when I say we're talking about Black women for a moment, please don't think that I'm excluding anyone else. I'm only just taking a moment to specifically to talk to my Black women. I hesitate to say African American because there are some, African women and some women in the Caribbean and other places who are we're kind of addressing them as well. So allow me to say Black women and understand that I mean African women of the diaspora. Now, in the movie For Color Girls, and in my class discussion after the movie, it became apparent to me that some of my some of my beautiful Black sisters, were very have absorbed the negative connotations and negative thoughts and negative words and phrases and images that have been thrown on them for the last centuries, and they've begun to internalize some of those negative images. And so today, now in 2020, I believe our goal is to take those negative images and throw them out of our consciousness. And I developed what I think are some steps that could help us to do that. Number one, we have to kind of understand where some of the negative images and statements may have come from. Remember now, on the plantation, the white slave owner could have any slave female that he wanted. So a lot of times, the Black slave mother would deliberately speak negatively about her daughter, not because she didn't love her daughter and thought the best of her daughter or for her daughter, but she was trying to protect her daughter from a predator. So that's sort of a self-defense mechanism that our ancestors have developed. And I'm afraid that perhaps we've perpetuated that negative shaming, but we've lost the intent or the meaning behind it. The mother had no intention to shame her daughter. The mother was merely trying to protect her daughter. And there are many other negative shaming things that we've had to endure. Some of the TV shows that were years ago that showed us in negative lights. Some of the negative, harsh comments that our sisters have had to endure that really have not been positive. So now let's take this and let's look at it a different way. I have some steps that I'd like to discuss. The first step is self-identification. The fact of the matter is, the beauty magazines, the Hollywood, the TV shows, they are never going to come back and say, hey, you know what? We were wrong. Y'all Black women are beautiful. We were wrong in what we said 20 years ago. It's never going to happen. Let's stop trying to think that it's going to happen. Let's take the bull by the horns. Let's create our definition. Let's self-identify what beauty is. The first thing I like to say that beauty is being healthy. So if there's a chemical that we put in our hair that may make our hair look nice, but the chemical ultimately harms our bodies, then that is not a beautiful look that we want to pursue. If there's a skin bleachiner that makes our skin light in complexion, but many of the mercury-based chemicals harm our bodies, then we don't need that. So we're going to create our self-image of beauty. We're going to define what that is. And that's based on health. So if something is healthy for us, then we can partake in that. And whatever our body winds up looking like, right? We're going to eat healthy, exercise, avoid harmful chemicals in our body. If we're dark skinned, we're going to just be dark skinned and recognize that dark complexion is gorgeous. If we're light skinned, We just gonna be light skinned and recognize that that light complexion is gorgeous. If we brown skin, we just gonna be brown skin and recognize we create the bar. We say what beauty is. The next thing is self respect. And I think a lot of this, you kind of, to me, in my opinion, you have to look at the woman and the black woman and the black man together in this one. And sometimes I think, unfortunately, African American or black men, we don't show our respect for our women. That's a very unfortunate thing. And I think sometimes we don't because we don't recognize who they are and how beautiful they are. My wife of almost 16 years is a blessing to me. I recognize her as a blessing. I recognize that God gave me her. It came from God. Boom, to me. Thank you, God, for blessing me with my wife. So I'm never going to, in any way, harm her, abuse her in any way, because I recognize that she is a blessing for me. And sometimes that self-respect, that thing, I respect her because of who she is. She respects me because of who I am. Black women respect each other because they recognize how powerful each other is and how beautiful, without being jealous of one another. They recognize how beautiful each other is. So the black man respects the black woman respects the black man, the black woman respects the black woman, the black man respects the black man. And we just kind of use that respect and help redefine some of these images that we've been told. The last thing is self-awareness. We want to recognize. I mean, could you imagine a beautiful black woman that God took time to create this woman? He made her. Excuse me. I said he, didn't I? I'm sorry. We use inclusive language. God made her beautiful. But she had a lifeless body until God took his breath and God breathed the breath of life into her. Boom. Then she had life. The lifeless body began to move and she had life. And this beautiful woman is aware. She has a self-awareness to know that she carries a small part of God inside of her. And she can use that God power to help others. Mama Teray is a beautiful woman. She's our teacher, our instructor in our class. Beautiful woman. And when you look at her life, she has dedicated her life to the community and all the powerful things that she has done. She took that little piece of God that was inside of her and she used that to help others. And now today she could be retired, feet propped up in the Riviera somewhere, but she chooses to be to be my professor so I can learn. I appreciate her because now I'm learning from her. But she has taken that little piece of God that's inside of her, and she's using that to teach and mold other people. You see, that's the substance. See, beauty is one thing, and beauty is a powerful thing, and she is a beautiful woman. But that's just the surface. It's that little piece of God that's inside of you that you use that God to serve and help others. Oh, that's what makes it so powerful. And when I look at my beautiful black women, and when I see the many things that they do, we talk about the civil rights movement, Dr. King, and all the Joseph Lowery, who unfortunately just passed away, and all the great civil rights people. But then when you really take off the veil and look at the civil rights struggle, you realize it was the woman, it was the black woman that carried that torch. Now, Dr. King was the person up front. Joseph Lowery was the person up front. You know, the other Jose Williams and Andy Young and John Lewis, they were there and they were powerful and they were strong men. They were strong men. But they had the support of the sisters behind them. And it was some sisters that really carried that torch. That's that piece of God that's in them. So you have this beautiful, beautiful woman who's filled with that spirit, that peace of God, who is working and moving and doing powerful things. And so sometimes it kind of bothers me. It really does. When I see a black woman who is down on herself and talking about, she's not this, she's not that, she's not the other. It kind of bothers me. So I just pray that my beautiful sisters will take this, will begin to create their own, create their own identity, create your own image of beauty. Don't accept what others tell you. Create your own image and create it based on your personal health. Then respect yourself and respect each other. And the brothers, we got to do better. We the luckiest people on the earth because we got the most beautifulest women around us. We do. We have to respect our women. And our women have to respect themselves and respect us. We got to do better, brothers. And lastly, be self-aware. You are a princess of God. That's who you are. Your name is God's princess. You are a beautiful creation. You are filled with God's Spirit. You can do wonderful and marvelous things. Let's throw off the shackles. Let's throw off the negative self-image. Let's throw off all these horrible things. And let's recognize who we are in God. This has been a wonderful time I've spent with you here at the Community of Peace. I pray that this can help someone and bless someone along the way. God bless you.